Remember how we was talking about reflect, how I gotta reflect? No, what you're saying is wrong. No, that ain't about me. No, because see, you just misunderstood me. I'm misunderstood by people. This is what I really mean. Or when you know you wrong, but you gonna argue to prove you ain't wrong, even though in your mind you know you wrong. If it has to turn into an argument, if it has to turn into you gotta defend, chances are you probably the one that's really wrong. 9 of the 10 times, it's probably something that you're doing wrong that somebody else saw, and you just can't take the heat. You can give the heat, but you can't take the heat. And this is something I want you to keep in your head. The way you looking at somebody else is looking at you. So in other words, the way you see somebody else's issues, somebody else see yours. So if you're bad enough to go tell somebody else what they're doing wrong, be bad enough to accept when it comes to you. And just be like, oh yeah, you're right, my bad. You sure right. Let me work on that. Because chances are you already know. Holy Spirit, remember I told you the Holy Spirit does an X-ray. So you already know you're out of order. But you got to come to the place of acknowledging. And in acknowledging, now you need to come to a place of correcting. Okay. You may receive some corrective action for your part in the disorder of the church. The apostle or the pastor, they have to analyze the ministry with a fine-tooth comb and see where the problems lay. There's a time when the pastor have to do an assessment of the church, the people in the church, to find out what they did wrong or what they're doing wrong. There's a time that has to happen. This includes any mistakes that even he or she may have made in the ministry. And some of the things that they have to look at is, did I detour from the path God gave me to take because the ministry became popular or grown in members? You know how sometimes when the ministry begin, you put that program on and you did exactly the way God told you to do it, and that program is a success, and then people was like, you know what, I like how you did such thing, and then you done took that, and instead of going down the next path that God told you, you done went back this way because that's what worked the last time. So I got to go back this way. But God started telling you to go this way. So sometimes you detour because you begin to do what is popular or what is gaining more members. And that's taking you away from the assignment that God gave you to do. Okay. Did I stay away from what is most important no matter how unpopular it seems? Did I stray away? I'm sorry. Did I stray away from what is most important no matter how unpopular it seems? God may tell you, I need you to teach. I need you this season to teach and nothing but teach. But you want to get into a preaching ministry because preaching seems to draw more people. But God done told you this is your season to teach. Remember how I told you, I said Change Life of Clarendon is designed by God to equip soldiers to go out. So even though it may seem more profitable in popularity and members by us just being a preaching ministry instead of a teaching ministry, if God said this is your season of being a teacher to teach soldiers to go out, that's what you need to do. It may not seem popular, but if that's what God told you to do, that's what you need to be doing. A lot of downfall in the church occur because the church has gotten away from the assignment of God. They begin to go their way because their way seems more fun, more popular, more seen, more heard. If a person only hear Change Life of Clarendon because we say catchy phrases, catchy things, then shame on them. I don't want you to listen to us. I want you to listen to us because what we're saying is truth, it's the truth, and it's saturating your soul to help you to correct yourself to do better. So if you're one of the bad apples in your ministry, that you've now become a good apple. If you are doing things that you know is not pleasing to God, that you begin to get in a place to do what is right. Stop trying to worry about doing what is popular or what is fun or what is catchy, and get on doing what God has asked you to do. Okay. Then another question that you ask yourself, what part did I play in the downfall of this ministry? When I say downfall, I don't mean to the point that the door has to be closed, but to the point where the enemy influence took over the ministry and reaped havoc. What part did I play? Don't worry about what part somebody else played. What part did I play where I let the enemy come through that door, set among us, and began to reap havoc in the ministry? What part did I play? That's something you need to ask yourself. Don't worry about, okay, let me see what the pastor did. What did you do? Okay. Now, we're still in the process of healing. The new threads of bone cells start to grow on both sides of the fracture. New threads. Here's the broken bone. And on each side of that broken bone, new cells, new threads of bone cells begin to grow on both sides of that broken bone. Begin to grow on both sides. These threads grow together, grow towards each other. So in other words, here's the broke. This is the broke part. Here's a bone, and here's a bone. And this is the broke part on each side. Thread on each side begin to form and grow towards each other. So as that healing begin to happen, those threads begin to grow together to bring that bone back to a healing place. Now I love this part of the healing process. After the bone is reset and a cast is on it to keep it in a correct and protective place, this process occurs to where the cells begin to grow towards each other. Sometimes the problem in the ministry comes from outside influence. Sometimes we can let outside people come in and hurt the ministry. You remember when we was talking about how you got the prophet of the house, and how a lot of people don't want to listen to the prophet of the house, but let an outside prophet come in. You expect that pastor, that prophet to get up and prophesy, and you be the first. You break your neck getting in line to hear that prophet, but you won't even listen to your own prophet that is part of the fivefold ministry. So sometimes when we during the times when we should be growing towards each other, we let outside influence hinder that. Meaning those that you thought were for you wasn't. Those people that you thought were for you wasn't. So during the healing process, you have to realize those that are for the ministry and for the right reason. It is those individuals the ministry need to grow towards. Meaning, and for example, meaning, if Sally Jane really worked, I'm just saying Sally Jane, I don't know nobody named Sally Jane, but if Sally Jane really works hard in the ministry and she is not as recognized outside of the ministry as Sally Sue is, Now, Sally Sue is recognized in the ministry and outside the ministry. And Sally Jane, she's working real hard in the ministry, but they don't really notice her outside the ministry because she stayed the course of the assignment